Welcome to Sideline Sports, where we give you an up-close and personal look at the teams, coaches, and athletes that make up the South Sound. Here's your host, Jeff Slakey.
Welcome to Sideline Sports. This week, the High Climbers battle Mount Tahoma. Bulldogs take on Fife in playoff action. And the High Climbers prepare for state championships in cross country. Our game of the week, Timberline football taking on Kamiakin.
This portion is being brought to you in part by
Mason General Hospital, United Community, Empowered People, Exceptional Health. Shelton football under the lights at High Climber Stadium, hosting Mount Tahoma.
It was the final game of the 2017 season for Shelton football, hosting Mount Tahoma in a crossover game. The High Climbers jumped out early when Evan Rhodes took a pitch outside for a 5-yard score, putting Shelton up 6-0. Tough defense from both teams held the score in the second quarter, with Shelton leading 6-0 at halftime. The High Climbers would add to their lead in the third quarter when Troy Goodwin rushed into the end zone for a 3-yard score, putting Shelton up 12-0. The Cardinals would respond with a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it was too little too late as Shelton would hold on for the 12-7 victory. High Climber junior Caesar Tankersley is proud of the way his teammates fought together to pick up their first win of the season.
After coming from Capital, some hardships, came here, had a rough season, a lot of diversity, a lot of people dropping out. Come back with the win, felt pretty good. Felt pretty good.
I'm Sean Wells, Fry Fiber 1 Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
The Gillis Auto Center. At Gillis, you're covered forever. North Mason soccer battled Fife on the pitch.
It was a winner-go-to-state game for the North Mason Bulldogs Tuesday night, facing Fife in District 3 playoff soccer. Aggressive defense from both teams kept the game scoreless the first half. Fife would then break through less than 5 minutes into the second half with a goal from sophomore Kaya Scott. North Mason would respond 15 minutes later when sophomore Sophia Green snuck one past the Fife goalkeeper, tying the game at 1-1. Both teams would have chances down the stretch but couldn't find the game-winning goal in regulation. After 2 scoreless overtime periods, the game was decided in penalty kicks. Fife would outlast the Bulldogs 4-2 in the shootout, advancing to the state championships. North Mason now must win 2 games in a row to move on to state. The Bulldogs next play conference foe Port Angeles Thursday night. I'm Sean Wells, Fry Fiber 1 Sports.
Sideline Sports is being brought to you in part by
A big turnout this year for Shelton High School runners at the state championships.
5 Shelton runners are gearing up for the 3A state championships this Saturday at Sun Willows Golf Course in Pasco. On the boys' side, Will Johnson will be advancing to state for the 3rd year in a row, along with first-time state participants Brock Knowles, Ethan Burtz, and John Gerchak. On the girls' side, freshman Aiden Gregg will be the lone runner representing Shelton after finishing 21st at districts. After only sending 1 runner to state each of the past 3 years, High Climber Aiden Gregg is proud of the hard work their teammates put in this season to reach their postseason goals.
Well, as far as I know, that's quite a bit, from the past few years. So I think that's a really big accomplishment, and all the guys have really been practicing hard, and so I think we deserve it.
High Climber junior Will Johnson placed 18th overall at districts, qualifying for the state championships for the 3rd year in a row. Will likes where his fitness is heading into state and can't wait to get the race underway.
Kind of been waiting for this, I guess the whole season. I wanted it to be the peak of my training, the peak race where I did my best, and going back for a 3rd time, I think I'm more excited than ever.
Shelton junior John Gerchak is making his first appearance at the state championships after placing 39th at districts. Gerchak's goal all season long was to qualify for state, but he admits he still has gas left in the tank for one final race.
This season, this was a goal of mine actually. I really wanted to go to state this season, and I hope to run really hard at state. I'm not done yet.
The 3A girls race starts Saturday at 12:30 while the boys follow at 2. I'm Sean Wells, Fry Fiber 1 Sports.
Previous scores in football: Timberline 56, Stadium 20, Bethel 32, Yelm 22, Peninsula 45, Snohomish 27. In soccer, Stadium 1, Timberline 0, Prairie over Capital 2-1, and a tie Bonnie Lake and Peninsula at 2-2. In volleyball, Timberline 3, Capital 1. North Thurston 3, Stadium 1. And Capital over Lakes 3-0. Our game of the week is Timberline football taking on Kamiakin in the first round of the state playoffs. The Blazers look to keep their undefeated record intact after knocking off Stadium in district action 56-20. Timberline took first in the South Sound Conference, outscoring opponents 235-58. Kamiakin comes into the game with a 9-1 overall record after knocking off Lakes in districts 24-21. Kamiakin's only loss of the season came to undefeated Richland. Upcoming in football, it's Bethel versus Ferndale, Peninsula versus Mountain View, and Garfield versus Lincoln. In soccer, Roosevelt versus Stadium, Bellevue versus Gig Harbor, and Linden versus West Valley. Volleyball, North Thurston is at Mount Spokane, Snohomish versus Capital, and Stadium versus Ferndale. This has been another presentation of Sideline Sports. I'm Jeff Slakey.